Alright, so this is the second weld I break. I broke one of these new ones earlier, and I just broke this weld. And the reason being is that these hinges here are not perfectly parallel to each other. One might be going up, the other one might be going down, and when you try to swivel on them on different axes, one is bound to crack and break. Of course, I knew that already, but I decided to overlook it and hope for the best. So, lesson learned is make sure your hinges are all parallel. I got my tarp up today because it is super hot, and it's about 100 degrees right now, and just working in the open sun right now. So I got my little tarp thing here set up for some shade. I got my big cooler here full of ice and water, and just gonna try to stay hydrated throughout the day. It's supposed to be a lot hotter tomorrow and the next day, so hopefully I can hang in there with this framing, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of welding as well. So it's just gonna get hot. So you guys might see me sweat a little bit. So check out this cut. It's a funky cut, but the reason I did this cut is so that it's smooth this way. But if you will notice, apparently this one's angled inward and this one's angled outward, and I had to make this funky cut just to kind of interlock them and have them meet in the middle, on this flush surface here. But it's a kind of funky cut right there, and that's going to interlock that way. These cuts are just in the bottom. The top will be like just a regular miter cut at a 45-degree angle. Like I mentioned earlier, last week I was actually working on this, and I actually had these hinges attached to the bottom frame, and I was closing it and opening it, and having 4 hinges actually was a little wonky. It wasn't the fact that it wasn't 100% straight. Some were like just a little off, a little crooked, and what happened is that it was really hard to fold down the bar, because it was these hinges weren't perfectly straight. So I ended up taking them apart, because what it was is that this is an exaggeration. Maybe it was like this or like that, but just that little tiny bit that it was off, it made it didn't allow this thing to fold down smoothly. So I ended up taking them apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them to this first, set it on top, and then weld the bottom plate onto it. So that's why I didn't get a whole lot of a usable video last week. So hopefully I can get this right this time around. Worst case scenario, I might have to undo them again and then just run it like I'm saying with just these by themselves. Run a rod all the way across so that I know that they're all parallel. Originally that's how it's supposed to be done. So anybody out there watching this, I guess I got ahead of myself. What I should have done is I should have got that rod that goes all the way through, so that I know I have a true alignment with all the hinges. It's very important to have all the hinges perfectly aligned. So I guess I'm just kind of doing it the hard way now. I'm kind of at the point where I got everything welded in. Well, they're tacked. Technically, they're tacked, except for this one right here. This one, one of my first ones, I kind of got ahead of myself and I just welded the whole thing across, which I shouldn't have done that. I should have just done little tacks like this, just to kind of hold it in place. Worst case scenario, you know, if I have to take them apart, I can just, you know, just cut those little pieces there instead of having to cut this whole piece there. But the good thing about you guys watching this is that you can just watch me do it the hard way, and then you'll know how to do it the easy way or the right way. So this is what I have so far. Again, it just rotates a lot smoother now. You know, before it was kind of hard, and when I rotate it, a couple of the welds kind of broke off because they just weren't aligned. But now they're, you know, just rotates a whole lot smoother now, and you know, even the bottom one kind of rotates a lot smoother. It's got a dip this way, you know, I guess from, you know, putting weight on this part. So it's got a dip here, so, you know, I had to kind of play with these two a lot just to kind of raise it up, just to make these plates even, because it kind of dropped a little bit. So I was able to adjust it. I had to raise this up, put the screw in, and raise this up and put the screw in. While I did this, I also noticed that it actually has a dip this way as well. As you can see, this one here is kind of flushed, and this one here is kind of flushed, but this one here kind of sticks out a little bit, and that's because there's that dip. I guess it was pushed, the actual frame was pushed in eventually, you know, it was at one point, not a whole lot, not very noticeable, but enough where it's not perfectly flushed here or here. What's keeping all of these hinges aligned is this bar here, because this bar here is like perfectly straight, so that's why they're all rotating evenly now. To bolt this on, I would have to put some like weird spacers in the back that, you know, just kind of trying to fill them in just so that I can get a good grip. It's probably just a lot easier just to weld them in the position that they're on, so I'll probably just end up welding the thing onto the frame. I know I had said that I was kind of against making things permanent, but you know, after doing these hinges a couple times, and I know you guys didn't see the full picture of what I had to do here. I actually had to take these hinges apart a couple times just to kind of align them, fix them, adjust them. These temporary tacks and weld tacks, they came in handy in order for me to be able to remove the pieces and then realign them and put them back in place. You know, even just welding these in place, I guess I can, if I ever want to remove it, I can just grind the welds off. And I think I'll still put bolts in it as a precaution, but what I'll do is I'm gonna stick welds on all of these bottom plates, just so that they can stay in the position that they're on, because right now they're aligned, and if I try to put spacers, I try to bolt it, I'll squeeze them, and they're like, and then I move them out of alignment there. So, and by the way, that's my dog. Like, you know, she is just dying down there. It is so hot right now. You know, I keep trying to go underneath, farther underneath the truck, or just go somewhere else, but she wants to be next to me. You know, so I got to make sure that I don't shoot any sparks at her. But it is hot. It is hot, and you know, usually this dog is just really active and hyper and running around, but this dog has no energy whatsoever. I got my cooler, water full of ice. I got, you know, a couple beers, you know, my Gatorade on ice. Yeah, I got my beef jerky and my snacks. Is it hot, Sophie? Is it hot? Are you hot? Yeah, you're hot. It's hot. It's starting to cool down though a little bit. You gonna be okay? Hang in there. So I actually put this lower bar here and I clamped it on this side and on this side, and this is just to assure that these bottom hinges are all lined up as well. This top one is lined up with well, these top hinges are lined up with this top rail, but I didn't check these bottom ones. So what I, you know how I told you I kind of adjusted it up and down, but what I should have done is aligned them, had to use something at the bottom. So what I did is I clamped it on this side, clamped it on this side, and I actually had to lower this one. I'm sorry, I had to raise this one up a little bit and lower this one a little bit. So now all these bottom hinges are aligned, and now the top hinges are aligned as well. So this is the latest. I know I didn't film most of the fabricating of this frame, and that's just because it was just a lot of repetitive and redundant process. But anyway, this is what I have so far. I have to climb on the ladder because since the frame still doesn't have a wall, I have to grab it from the top and lower it. So that's what I got going on right now. This would be the ramp position. Somebody had suggested that I should just do some extensions to make it less, but this is what I have so far. Again, that would be my deck position there. Then it'll drop it down to its ramp position here. So this is just the framing. This is just the framing with the hinges. I still got a lot more welding to do. I know it doesn't look like much, but oh man, I've been battling this thing for the longest. I had to remove these things a bunch of times, and I had to take them apart a bunch of times. I had to remove tacks a bunch of times. I have a nice little gap here all the way around. It doesn't rub or anything. It's framed in there pretty good. Just not, like I said, not a whole lot of, I would say it has about a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. And then once I get ready to put my flange in the back, it'll be a tight water seal. Like I said, I still have to do a few more welds in a couple of these spots here, and then clean it up, make it look really nice, then paint spray it. I did a bunch of welds on these corners here. That cutout that I showed you earlier, it provided a lot of weld surfaces there. Oops. And yeah, this is where I'm at right now. It doesn't look like much, but I tell you, it was a lot of work. It took a couple weekends to get it just right. I actually had to do this. I did it once already, and it didn't fit right, and I had to take the whole thing apart again. So I got a bunch of video on that, which is just not really good usable footage. Temperature right now is 104 degrees out here, and it was a little bit hotter earlier today. It's already like 3 in the afternoon. It was a lot hotter today. Been sweating my butt off, but it's worth it. I got a lot done today. Well, I got the main framing of it done. I still have to do some weld in some crossbars. I'm thinking of doing like 3 crossbars, or maybe even 4 crossbars in the center, and then maybe 2, just like do like a tic-tac-toe maybe. I don't know. But this is the main part right here, which was the hardest part, lining up all of these hinges to have it open and close smoothly. But it's getting there. I think the reason that this was a very long process is because there's just no instruction manual to this. I just had to keep figuring it out on my own. Somebody probably could have done this a lot faster than I could have, or a lot cleaner or neater. I don't know, but what can I say? This is my story. Thanks, guys, and